This is the Ghostbusters Afterlife 5-inch figures or 4.5-inch figures of the kids in the movie Trevor, Lucky, Phoebe, and a podcast. Now, these figures were retailing out here in Manila for about $14 at Toys R Us and at Toy Kingdom. But a couple months ago, they went on super clearance for about $8.50. Plus, if you ring it up at the cashier, you get an extra 10% discount. So you pay for about $7 each figure. So that's not too bad. I actually thought it was interesting. I wasn't about to pay $14 for 5 points of articulation. But upon close examination, each of these figures are actually pretty good. Let's start with Trevor. Trevor has a really nice face sculpt. I mean, these are sort of the animated versions. Had there been an animated show of Afterlife, this is what they would look like. And Hasbro's actually done a pretty decent job with the sort of cartoony likeness of the character. Next up is Lucky. And as I mentioned, each one just has 5 points of articulation: swivel neck, swivel shoulders, and swivel hips. That's it. I like this sculpt of Lucky. I think they got it right. And then probably my favorite of the lot is Phoebe. Phoebe probably has the worst paint apps because of the glasses. So you might want to look closely before picking up a Phoebe figure, because a lot of times the glasses aren't painted properly. There's some missing paint here and there, or too much paint. And each of the figures does come with an identical Proton Pack with the wand. The wand can be, I guess you could do it this way. Yeah, you could plug it in at the back, but each one can be held on either hand, but that's about it. There's not a lot you can do with the figures. You could just hold it like this and no effects or anything like that. And lastly, we have Podcast. Podcast was probably the most difficult one to find. I don't know why, but most of the stores I've been to, it's always Podcast that was missing. I love the likeness here, likeness as far as cartoon accuracy goes. I think they did a wonderful job. You know, Hasbro should be looking into doing these kinds of figures for franchises like Stranger Things, because I think they do very nicely with this kind of treatment for those kinds of characters. Now, each of the figures does come with their own fright feature, ghosts, and that's actually the main gimmick for each of the characters. Let's begin with Trevor's ghost. This is the fright position, but you can set it up like this, and it's actually a pretty cute bug caterpillar type of ghost. And then there's a button right here on the back. You push it and out pops. Wow, look at that. There's a larva for tongue, and then his mouth opens up like, yeah. Next up is Lucky's ghost. It's like an octopus with brains and some teeth. So you push the button right here. Yeah, not the best. This is probably the least strong one, the weakest out of all the ghosts. And then we have Muncher with Phoebe. Doesn't really clip on as much, so it kind of just stays like that. And then you push at the back right here, and it should open up the mouth. Oh. Let's do that again. Push at the back, and it just raises the tongue and the mouth. It's okay. Still better than that one, but not my favorite. And this is probably my favorite, the bug-eyed ghost. Simply because I did have the Kenner bug-eyed ghost when I was a kid, and it was one of my favorite ghosts. And this is how it works. You close everything up. And the original toy, it was made of soft PVC plastic. You stomp on it, and then the eye just pops out, and it's attached to a string, and I thought that was pretty cool. Now this one, the way it works, you push the button right here, just like the others, and the face splits up, and it reveals like a Mike Wazowski ghost inside. If you keep pushing the button, it can shift the eyes from good eye to evil eye. Oh, that's pretty nice. I actually thought this was a nice set of figures. Quite possibly the most difficult ones to hunt down here in Manila. All that's left on the pegs, the last time I checked, were the oldies. Peter, Ray, Egon, and Winston. But these four kids are gone from the shelves the moment they went on clearance, especially Podcast. I'm going to give this entire set, I mean all of them, an 8 out of 10. I thought they were pretty decent. Could use a little bit more articulation. But as far as cartoony looking figures in the 4-inch or 5-inch scaled figures, I thought Hasbro did a pretty excellent job with these guys. I love the fright features. If not for the fright features, they would have gotten something like a 6 out of 10 because of the lack of articulation and the lack of pinups in the Proton Pack and whatnot. But the ghosts really make these figures a fun figures to play with, given the fact that back when I was a kid, I did have a lot of Ghostbuster toys, and this kind of brings a lot of memories back. I mean, who doesn't want Ghostbusters, right? Anyway, let me know in the comment section what you thought of these 5-inch figures of the kids from Ghostbusters Afterlife done in this cartoon version. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.